Welcome, Alexis. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So today we're talking about commitment to limitless excellence. Really excited about this. For everyone who's joining, we have a big announcement to make at the end. So we have a topic to talk about, the committed to limitless excellence. Sorry, I lost I'm getting a really bad echo all of a sudden. It's better now, right? Are you still hearing echo?
Nope.
Okay. So, let's start all over. Welcome, commitment to limitless excellence. This is our topic for today. This is a surprise that we have for you, all of you, for those of you that are in our group. You guys have been asking for more support. You've been asking to get more trainings, and we've been polling, kind of getting an idea of what it is that you really want in this group, in this community. So today we're going to talk about commitment to limitless excellence and the importance of it, and what's missing right now for you to get to where it is that you want to get to. And wait till the end, because in the end we have bonus offers for all of you. So let's get started.
Yes, this is, a topic I think that we need to come back to again and again, and really talk about what is this commitment that, we're talking about to limitless excellence, and why is it even important, right? We are a community that want to support high achievers to become limitless leaders. And the one thing that we know, hands down, without a doubt, about high performers is they are committed to excellence in every area of their life. And so it's not a matter of just being committed to one goal at a time or one project at a time, or I'm going to be committed to this, my relationship for 90 days, and then I'm going to change focus. Yes, we have goals that we're working on consistently, and, and they change over time, but there's this underlying commitment to always performing, at their very best, at a high level of excellence in everything they do. We're going to talk about why this is so important and ways that we can really start to integrate this. And if you're like, I have no idea, that sounds great, but I have no idea how to do that, we're going to give you some ideas and prompts and things like that to get you started. But let's really sort of flesh out what this looks like and what it doesn't look like. So let's start with an example, Maureen. We were talking about this just before we went on, and kind of defining the difference between wanting to do something, right? Having an interest to do something, and then being committed to a particular outcome, right? And what does that look like? We want to give you guys an example, a real life example to show you.
Yeah, so imagine a Wendy who wants something. Wendy wants something. She wants to have that, high position in the corporate, or she wants to, or there may be a Wendy who is wanting to scale her business. There's things that she wants for herself, and she's going about it. She says it to herself, this is what I want. But she's not taking action on what needs to happen. She probably doesn't even know what it is that she needs. So what happens is she's going out through day after day, doing the things that she needs to normally do, starting to feel burnt out. And she's trying different things, possibly. Like, maybe I'll do this, but you know what? I really, really just want to be here. And that may be, really scaling her business. But she's so bogged down. She doesn't know what it is that she needs to do. It's just something that she's wanting all this time. And what happens is, shiny new things, she might be Googling and saying how to do this, how to do that, how to scale a business, how to ask for a promotion, right? She's getting all these tips, but she's not really applying them. She doesn't even know where to get started to apply them. And she's not even really sure if it's something that she can do. So what starts to happen is she's wandering around, she's going through all these things, and 6 months later, she's still wanting the same things that she's always wanted, and hasn't made any progress. And she starts to feel overcommitted. She's taking on a lot of things. She's thinking, oh, if I do a lot of these things, I'll get there, or let me sign up for this. One of these things may work for me that'll get me to where I want to get. Maybe going into more meetings, maybe taking on more projects, maybe adding more programs, whatever it is that she has, whether it's in her business or in a workplace, okay? Then all that she's doing is filling up her plate. She fills up her plate and then she's like, but this is not where I was supposed to be. I wanted to get to here. Why am I not here? That's what Wendy, who wants something, is experiencing. And so I want you to look for yourself. If you are one of those that there's things that you want in your life, and maybe it's to lose the weight, maybe it's to feel healthier, maybe it's to build a relationship with your significant other or with your children who are growing up, like really building that bond because they're about to, they're going into high school. Once they get into high school, they become their own people and then they go to college, right? So maybe it's building a relationship with team members, right? So how do you really do that? Because you're thinking these are the things that I want. What you may be missing is a mentor or a coach or a community that you can reach into that also is like-minded and has done the things and could guide you through it and hold you accountable to it. So let's talk about Kathy, who's committed.
Yeah, so we've got wanting Wendy, right? And there's a wanting Wendy in all of us. Oh, I would love to do this. I want to do this. It would be nice if we could do these things. Then we have committed Kathy. Kathy has the same wants, only instead of labeling them as wants or would be nice if, they are needs, right? It is necessary for me to develop a deeper bond with my kids because I know they're going into high school. They only have a few years left before they're going to be creating their own lives and families, right? It becomes the necessity of that goal becomes elevated. And when committed Kathy looks at the goals that she has, she just doesn't say, well, maybe I'll just Google this or talks about it. Committed Kathy looks at her calendar and says, this is my goal. This is what I must achieve. And this is when I'm going to achieve it. And carves out specific blocks of time on her calendar to achieve that goal, right? And, with committed Kathy, it isn't just something she's like on a whim has decided, I'm going to take up salsa dancing. Like those things are nice and things that we like to do where if we're curious people, adventurous people, and these things happen spontaneously, that is great. That is what makes life amazing sometimes, right? But Kathy knows what she wants and she knows why she wants it, right? She takes it to a much deeper level. And when you take it to that deeper level of why, right? That necessity that we've been talking about, that, that this must happen, it becomes almost tangible, right? It's great to say, I'd love to have a deeper relationship with my children. But when you start to ask yourself why, right? Well, because you should have a good relationship with your kids. Why? Because, and so you keep on folding back the layers, but you get to that point where you have limited time, right? Depending on what stage you're at in parenthood, you have limited time with your children. When you really dive deep into that, you say, wow, my kids are in grade 9. The next 4 years, how fast did the last 4 years go? Mm-hmm. And you really dig into that. You can see where that necessity goes from a want. It would be nice if I was closer to my kids to a need. And then looking at the calendar and saying, okay, 30 minutes a day. How am I going to spend 30 minutes of my day working towards intentional work towards making this dream, this goal a reality in my life? If you can't find 30 minutes a day to work on a dream or to work on a goal that you have that you classify as really important, then it is not that important to you, right? And I know that sounds harsh. We tell ourselves all the time, we say that our wants are needs, but if they were needs, we would do them, right? Our basic needs, food, air, water. If we didn't have those things, we would do whatever it takes to get them because we need them to survive. High performers look at those things that they've committed to in the same way. I'm committed to getting those things. So what is my plan of attack? How am I going to move forward?
Yeah. Another great analogy is think about for your children. You want them to have the best education, best career. So what is it that you do from day one? You're making sure that they're going to the best schools. You make sure they get up every morning, brush their teeth, get ready, eat breakfast, and they go to school. Then you make sure that they come home, they do their homework, spend some quiet time, whatever, playtime, and then go to bed. You do this day in and day out. You've created a structure, and I would say 99% of the world is doing this, right, for their children, because they're committed for bettering their lives of their children. It's the difference between wanting it, right? If I was just wanting it, but I wasn't taking the action to drop them off to school or to help them with their homework, then it's totally different. When you're committed, you make sure that no matter what, they go to school, no matter what, they do their homework, no matter what, they do all the things, right? So when you are committed to something, you will make sure that you have structures in place to make it happen. Okay, so that's the difference between being committed and wanting. Okay, now it works in the same way when you're working in corporations. When you have a commitment and a goal that you have to meet, you get these objectives that you have to meet at the end of the year. What is it that you do? You create structures in place that it works. You create a team. You create maybe a weekly check-in. Maybe it's a meeting that you have weekly or monthly, whatever it is. And you put milestones that you need to meet. And it's always top of mind because you've got those weekly check-ins, or it's always there because you're committed to something, you're making it happen. How many times have you heard that, oh, I wish, that we had this at work, but you're not really doing anything about it. You're not creating any structure. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between the want and the commitment. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it's really being clear, like Alexis mentioned, is the necessity. Why is it important? And being aligned to that. For in the workplace, it could be because your bonus is probably tied to it, right? So that's why it's important to you, because there's a monetary bonus that may come at the end of that commitment when you reach that goal. Now, for those of you who want to start a business or have a business and want to scale, and you find that it's something that you want, but you just don't know where to go or how to start it. So you just sit there in the want. People who do that are committed to it, and they create a structure for themselves. Maybe they hire a business coach. Maybe they hire a couple of team members. They start creating, weekly team meetings. So they start to accomplish slowly and slowly, one step at a time. But as long as you're sitting here and saying, this is what I want, and not taking action, 6 months, a year, 5 years from now, you will be in the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can do this with every aspect of our lives, whether that's our professional lives and whether we want to climb the corporate ladder, whether we want to, as Maureen said, open or scale our business, whether that's in our relationships, as we've talked about, maybe with our kids, our partners, our family, our friends, or in our health, or in our spirituality. Like, it doesn't matter what area we dive into. And this is where we want to bring this piece back around to tying the commitment to excellence to who we actually are, and understanding that if you want to get to that level and be a high performer, part of a high performer's identity is that they operate out of their highest level. That's their intention, right? Yes, we still make mistakes. Yes, our best laid plans sometimes fail. But when you tie in the commitment to excellence in everything you do as who you are, as part of your identity, then it doesn't matter what we're talking about, whether it's relationships, whether it's our professional, ventures, whether it is our health or our spirituality, whatever it is, we know we're going to attack that goal from a different level than most people. Most people are still at that wanting. Ooh, it would be nice if my bank account was a little bit, cushier. It'd be nice if I would really love it if I could lose the weight, get more fit, get the promotion, open the business. But like we've said, and like Maureen said, but we don't take any action towards it. Somebody who's operating from their highest level says, okay, this is what I want. This is why I want it. And this is why it is necessary for me to achieve it. That want shifts to a need. And when it's a need, we will do anything we need to do to get to achieve that outcome or to achieve that goal. we're operating at a higher level, at a level of excellence. So again, no matter what goal it is you're working on, you have a certain sort of level of integrity that you're operating from. You have that commitment to yourself, right? Don't commit it to me. If I'm your coach, that's great. But if you don't commit it to yourself, it's not going to be something you can sustain over the long term. So where are you at in your level of excellence and your commitment to yourself and doing the things that you know that you need to do, the things that you want to accomplish? How much action are you taking, and is it related to the feeling of necessity? Right? We hear all the time, no, but I really, like, I need this business to work. I really, really want this business. Like, this is exactly where I want to be. But then we look at the actions, we look at the behavior, we look at the calendar, and the calendar doesn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We see your level of commitment. Are you putting the time aside to be able to move that goal forward? And
Yeah.
this is where a lot of people fail.
Yeah. So there's a few shifts that you need to make. So let's talk about five shifts that you can start making to get there. Okay. So one of the thing is one of the shifts you need to make is in your mindset, right? It's really being very, very clear what it is that you want, and then noticing that where your mindset may start to come in and start affecting, like what like telling you know what it is, that you can't do it, or I'm too busy, or I need to get this done first, or when I get here, then I'll do that, right? So when we start to look at things in a way that was something that's far reach and we can't get there, this is where that alter ego starts to step in, and that imposter syndrome and the limiting belief starts to come in, and it stops you. So that's why we teach how to do that shifting of the mindset, so you're mindful and you start to take control of what your mind is actually telling you to do, which is killing your wants and needs that you want, your commitment, and how get in that fear zone. Like, I can't get in front of everybody and talk about that. I can't manage a team. It's too much work, or I can't make that much money. It's not for me. I don't deserve it. If you're saying any of those things, that's your alter ego that's trying to kill you. What do we call it? The what? The
inner assassin.
And then, there was something else. When you start going to that next level, the new level, new devil.
Yeah, new level, new devil. I love that. I'm stealing that from wherever we heard it. I'm now adopting it.
I like that too. That was really nice.
So good.
So when you start to get to those other levels of where you want to go, you're starting where you have everything in that comfort zone. We talk about this all the time. You're in that comfort zone. When you want to get to the growth zone, to start reaching out to the things that you want and you're committed to getting, you have to pass through a fear zone and a learning zone. And in that fear zone, your alter ego will step in and tell you all the things that'll stop you. And that's usually 9 out of 10 times. Studies have shown that when people have a new idea or want to accomplish something, they get stopped in that fear zone, because something will stop them, because they don't have the right structure in place around them to make sure that they're successful. The other shift you have to make, sorry, were you saying something?
No.
Okay. The second shift you need to make is self-integrity. Self-integrity is really, really important. Because what does it mean? Integrity means when you're committed to something, you show up regardless. And if you can't show up, you're in communication. And one of the important things is being integrous to yourself, right? How many times, for me, for example, I'm a leader. I bring teams together, and I like to work with teams because I'm going to show up because they're counting on me. But will I show up when it's just for me? Sometimes no, right? If I make a commitment, I'm going to go to the gym, for example, it's very easy for me to say no. But if I've got a personal trainer, or if I got a friend that's waiting for me at the gym, I don't want to let them down because they'll be mad at me that I didn't show up. So I'm going to go. So that's what I'm talking about. It's like, how are you, when you're don't have that self-integrity, what structures will you put in place to check yourself? It's very, very important. Did you want to add to that?
Yeah, just reiterating the fact of how important it is to hold integrity to yourself, and like you said, we, especially as moms, so like, and I don't, not to say dads aren't in the same, but I feel like we take on so much responsibility, and we're willing to drop the things for ourselves to serve others, and and I get that because I do it myself, but over the last year, especially through everything that's been going on, my own mental health, I realized about maybe 3 or 4 months into the first kind of lockdown where I was, it is so important. It is so important because serving my family is very important to me. And I can't do that if I'm not taking care of myself, right? It's that old oxygen mask example, but it is so true. And I love that example, but I was also finding myself putting my needs on the back burner to try and figure out and get everyone else to feel comfortable. And I really realized, I said, Lexus, so often I do that check. Am I practicing what I preach? I'm telling a client on a coaching call, you need to practice self-care and how important it is for you to show up for yourself. Am I holding myself to that same standard? So
Yeah.
there are check-ins that I've created with myself. And I do that weekly audit. And on a Sunday, one of my questions for myself is, did I live the week in integrity to myself? How many times did I bail on myself? Sometimes it's not good. Right? Sometimes I'm like, I stopped counting. Other weeks I'm like, no, I showed up for myself every single day. I started putting things like my trips outside to the hot tub on my calendar. And when I see that, I'm like, it's a time that I know is realistic for me, for my family, for our schedule. And it used to be one of the first things I have in my mind. I'm going to go out there 20 minutes because the little jets are on a timer. So it's like 20 minutes to myself, relaxing the body, relaxing the mind. But it'd be the first thing I would either forget to do. It's not even that I said to myself I wasn't going to do it. I just forgot. And then it was 7 o'clock and now it's bedtime routine and everything else. And that was it. I missed my opportunity. Or I was like, oh, I'll do something else. I've got more work to do. I'd be doing this for somebody else. And over the last couple of months, I've really stuck to what I said I was going to do for myself. And it's hard, right? It is hard, but we can do hard things. And those days where I stick to my commitments for my own self-care, I show up as a better mom. I show up as a better wife. I show up as a better friend and coach, like in all areas of my life.
Yeah.
And it sounds so basic to say, and I know that the conversation of self-talk or of self-care is a big conversation, and we hear it and we say, yes, Alexis, that makes sense, but then we go back into our regular routine, which is neglecting our own needs and serving others 24/7 until it gets to a point where you now snap on your loved ones or you have a complete emotional breakdown, which sometimes happens and sometimes is needed. But have you built in that check-in for yourself to say, are you in that sort of self-integrity? Is that your intention every day, every week, every month? And do you have something built in place where you're checking in with yourself and holding yourself accountable?
Yes. Great. And number 3 is banishing that anxiety and overwhelm. Anxiety and overwhelm. Who doesn't have that anymore? Who doesn't have it? Everybody's dealing with anxiety and overwhelm right now, right? So that's another shift that you need to capture. Why is that happening? Anxiety and overwhelm is really your body telling you that something's not aligned. Either there's fear of something. Your mind is very, very powerful. If you think about it, you can sit there and you can sit there and do a meditation and really think that you're at the beach and really feel it, like what it feels like to be at the beach. If you've been there before, right? That's why they practice these meditations, because your mind is so powerful. So if you're experiencing anxiety and overwhelm, it's your body is telling you that something doesn't feel right. So that's your area that you can start to tap into to see what it is exactly that's happening right there that's causing the anxiety and overwhelm, and how you can shift your mindset to nip that anxiety, out of, so it doesn't happen anymore. You can actually control it. There are some instances where if you've gone through trauma, you may be having PTSD. That's a whole nother thing you should see a therapist for. But if it's just something that's happening while you're working or while you're doing something at home, while you're cooking, or all of a sudden you feel it, then there, or you're driving, there may be something that you need to look at right there is a key factor, that you can start diving in. What is causing me anxiety right now?
Mhm.
One of the things that I dealt with, Alexis, was when in my about 4 years ago, I was having all this anxiety at work all the time, constantly. I think I told you about this. And what was happening was that I had put all this pressure, because I'm a high achiever, right? So I put all this pressure on myself that I need to get these things done. And what started to happen was the anxiety was coming that I didn't get it done. And the thing is, it was all in my head. It wasn't that my manager was asking me. It wasn't like it was part of my objectives. It was something that I saw that was a need, and I wanted to get it done so that we could get to a better place, right, for the team. So I was putting these unrealistic goals for myself. I was seeing so far in the future that I was getting anxious, and I couldn't even focus on the present. Once I realized that was happening, I was able to turn it off. Even to this day, if it starts to show up, I'm like, why am I getting anxious? Oh, I want to be here and I'm not there, and I'm not focusing on right here. So my body is telling me that something's wrong, you're not getting to where you need to be, and it's freaking you out. I start to feel overwhelmed. And really, in reality, you're not. You're exactly where you need to be, and you are in full control. It may feel like you're out of control, but you are in full control. You can cancel meetings. You can take a day off. You can, change whatever it is that you want to do. You can say no to people that you just don't have the capacity right now. It is possible. So it's really being able to align yourself in that, because what people think is that they have to be busy all the time. They have to be doing things all the time. You want to make sure that you are addressing your anxiety and overwhelm, especially if you're one of those overachievers, or if you're a people pleaser, making sure that everybody's happy. If anybody asks you something, even though you don't have space for it, you don't say no, right? You'll go ahead and say, yeah, I'll take care of it. No worries, I'll take care of it. Or you're a perfectionist. You're making sure that everything is done before it goes out. It's better done than perfect. I deal with this all the time. Alexis knows this. Want things perfect all the time, and then I have to remind myself it doesn't have to get there. We just get it there. We can always tweak it later. It's always possible to make it better later, and you never know. It may even come out even better.
Yeah.
So really,
I want to circle back to just something you said really quickly about anxiety and living in the future. And I heard this great quote. I'm going to butcher it, but it was, the concept of it was talking about depression and anxiety, and that a depressed mind lives in the past and an anxious mind lives in the future. And this always, whenever I had those feelings, I'm not somebody that suffers with anxiety often, but sometimes, like anybody. And obviously, we're not talking about a diagnosis of of anxiety or depression or things like that, but just the typical stresses of life. When I am feeling anxious about something, I remind myself of that saying, and I think, okay, where am I living? How far in the future am I living? And I need to dial it back and get into the present. Because when we can think about the present, right, we can't control what happens in the future, and we can't control what's already happened. We can't go back and change it, but we do have control in the present moment. So when your anxiety levels are getting really elevated, trying to figure out how far ahead are you. And you're probably thinking, if I don't get this done, I'm going to get fired. If this doesn't happen, they're going to be upset with me. Okay, dial it back to today, where you are right now. And there's tons of grounding exercises that you can do. One easy one is just putting both feet on the floor, touching the walls, or standing in a door frame, and just literally feeling where you are. And then once you feel your physiology calming down, now what is the next best action I can take that is going to move me in a positive direction on whatever it is I'm stressed about right now? And it takes that one step back in order to move 3 steps forward kind of mentality, where you have to slow down. You have to give yourself a chance to feel it, and then ask yourself, why am I feeling this? And how can I change my state right now? It is all within our control if we recognize the power that we actually have in the moment.
yes. Now so that was shift 3. The shift 4, let's talk about shift 4. This is self-validation. Very, very important. You are a rock star. You are accomplishing things for yourself. You are where you are perfectly because you did things in your life to get to where you are. One of the things that we forget to do as high achievers or and what high performers take on is making sure they're self-validating, making sure that you're not beating yourself down. It's again, it comes down to your mindset. Is thanking yourself for getting things done, or it's acknowledging yourself for what you've accomplished today, being complete that what got done. And even if things didn't get done, it's okay. It's going to be okay. You're not a machine. You're not a machine. And let me tell you something about machines, okay? I work at Kraft Heinz, so we deal with in manufacturing a lot of machines. Whether they're brand new machines or old machines, they're always needing maintenance. They're always needing maintenance. They're always needing tweaking. They're always needing new parts, whatever it is, for them to be optimal. Think about that for yourself. Mm-hmm. You're not a machine, but you are like a machine when you need to be taking care of yourself. Self-maintenance is very, very important. Part of that self-maintenance is self-validation and looking at all the things that you have accomplished, whether it's giving birth to a child, whether it's finishing a project that you've been working on, whether it's making sure that dinner is on the table. And maybe you didn't get dinner on the table, but you ordered out. People got fed. Mm-hmm. That's an accomplishment.
Fed is fed.
Yeah, I mean, in my household it happens. So we don't have dinner. Okay, well, let's order. You got fed. We accomplished it. It doesn't have to look a certain way. We get stuck that our lives have to look a certain way. I'm sorry, but it's the 2021. Give that shit up.
Yeah.
Give that up, because you can create the life that works for you. Okay? Authentically, that works for you and your spouse. So for example, my spouse grew up in a different country, in Pakistan. I grew up here. We have a very different way of how we've been brought up, and we have a very different style of parenting. But we said, you know what? Let's take the good of both ways and create our own. We don't have to do it like everybody else. Mm-hmm. We stood in, what are you committed to having for yourself? He told me. I told him what I'm committed to having. Okay, so how can we support each other, and how can we support the children with what they're committed to and what we're committed to for being there for them? And how do we create those structures around that? That's all that's important, right? So very, very important that you self-validate that where you are is really, really perfect. And being able to hear that, sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget. We're so far ahead, or we want make things so wrong around ourselves that we forget that all the good things that we have. And that shifting that mindset will attract more good things to happen.
Mm-hmm. And integrating those wins, like when we talk about self-validation, it's not enough to just say, oh, good for me, I got dinner on the table today, but it's integrating those small wins that we have into our identity. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's not always an easy thing to do. But when we are conscious about it, and instead of just saying, I Uber Eats in dinner. No, I fed my family, right? I provided for my family. Yes, these are small things, but they add up very quickly. We're so quick to focus on the things we didn't get done, the things we didn't do well, the things that we failed at, but we don't spend nearly enough time focusing on the things that we did do well, the accomplishments that we did have throughout the day, the week, the month, right? So integrating those wins is how we self-validate, and it creates this identity, and it can add to this identity that we're talking about as an identity that is committed to excellence in all areas.
Yes. So make sure that you're practicing self-validation. And if you're not already, it's something that you want to incorporate. How would you speak to your children? Start speaking to yourself that way too. Okay? Go easy on yourself. You don't need to be beating yourself down. And you will find that you'll feel more happier. You'll have more freedom and ease around your life. So the last shift that you need to make is making sure that you have a community of like-minded people. Studies have shown that when you become who you're around, right? That's why they say to really be choosy about the friends you are around, right? Having that community with like-minded people will help you elevate you. So be really choosy. We have a very short, I say this all, so it was a discussion that my husband and I had, and we were trying to figure out, like, he was like, why is it that you don't want to hang out with these people? Why is I said, my lifespan is so short, and the amount of free time that I have is very minimal in a week because I've got things going on. I run a team in my consulting. I run a business, a coaching business. I also have a nonprofit. I have things I've got teenagers who are going to be starting college at the end of the year. So I've got things that are happening in my life. So I have very minimal free time. I don't want to be spending that with people that don't make me feel good, or I don't feel good in that area. It's not beneficial for me. It's not helping me, or I'm unable to contribute to them. Whatever it is, it doesn't feel right. And that anxiety starts to come in. I start to have self-doubt. If that's the energy that I'm getting from that group, it's probably not the group that I want to be around. So it's putting those boundaries up for what you don't want, and then creating space for the people that you want to surround yourself with, the community you want to surround yourself with. So having that community around you, if you don't have it already, then you want to look at how can I create that for myself. Mm-hmm. Did you want to add anything there?
Always. I always want to add something.
Well, before I move forward, yeah.
Yes, but just around this is that, and I often hear, well, my relationship with my sister, she's really negative, but it's my sister. I'm not going to not, have a relationship with her, or my best friend from high school, and she's just not very motivated, or he's not, whatever. I'm not saying, completely wipe out all the other relationships in our lives, right? Because you have two options. You can start tearing down the relationships that you have and saying, I can't, you're not good for me. You're negative in my life. And that's going to open up another whole can of worms in terms of a discussion and feelings and all the things. Or you can spend that same time building the community that you do want, building the relationships that are going to serve you or push you or challenge you to get to that next level. Doesn't mean that you have to cut people off completely from your life. You simply stop spending so much time, stop investing your time in relationships that aren't serving you. Doesn't mean you can't text them back when they message you, or you're not going to have a conversation with them at Christmas, or you may still see if it's family members that aren't overly supportive. You just limit the time that you're spending with them, and you start increasing the time that you're spending with those that are going to lift you up, that are going to support you, and most importantly, challenge you to move forward. And in this day and age where the virtual world out there can connect us with so many people, it's easy to find an accountability partner in a particular goal that you have. It takes courage and it takes right action. But if you are like, I have nobody in my circle that I would, feel comfortable, talking to, or I want to have some, put a post on Facebook. Hey, I'm looking to achieve a goal. Anybody else out there looking to achieve a goal and want an accountability buddy that we can have a 20-minute conversation on Friday or on Sunday of every week to keep each other accountable? You'd be surprised who would come out of the woodwork. It may be somebody that you haven't talked to since high school, and that's a new relationship. And if they're responding to that message, they're in the same kind of thinking as you are. Hey, that sounds good. I want to hold myself accountable. I know that I'm not very good at holding myself accountable just to me. So I'm going to bring somebody else in to support me on my journey. And I'm going to be a support to somebody else. So there's no excuses here, right? You can build the community that you want without completely tearing down the one that you already have.
Yes. So that's why we have created the Limitless Club, and we have opened the doors. So you guys have been hearing us. If you've been in our group, in our Facebook group, you've heard about, we're saying we've started the Limitless Club, and now the doors are open and we're inviting you into it. And this Limitless Club is for elite network for female working moms that are entrepreneurs, service providers, or they're looking to scale, get promoted, or lead with influence and become a woman who is functioning without limits, without limitations, like really abolishing that, and being surrounded in a community of like-minded people who are trying to accomplish the same thing. Right? So we want you to join our group. If this sounds like something that you want, you liked what you heard today, you want to be surrounded people like me and Alexis and have us as your mentor in the group. We'll be hosting training sessions on leadership, on mindset shifts that you can take on to achieving your goals. We'll also bring those expert guest speakers that'll come in, and we'll really be listening to the community. What is it that you want? We've got a network of people that we can bring in to talk on this specific topic. Maybe it's about finances. Maybe it's about health and wellness. Whatever it is that you all want in that group, in the Limitless Club, we will provide that for you. It's going to be an exclusive women's club for female leaders. So if you're a leader already, this is the club for you. If you're aspiring to be a leader, this is the club for you, because you want to be around leaders that'll help you, show you how to navigate the way, right? And if you're looking for, to build that respect and influence for yourself, right? Really being able to be confident when you're speaking and be influential when you're speaking, that people listen, want to be heard, then this is the group for you. It'll be a like-minded community of powerhouse women. And if that's what you're wanting to surround yourself with, then join the Limitless Club.
And what you can expect in this club is it is a monthly, quarterly, or annual subscription, and we deliver live, up-to-date, current training every single month. So every month you'll get a live training in the group, and it'll be on, like Maureen said, on different topics. We have a great lineup to start, but then again, we're always going to be in the group sharing, asking you guys what you're specifically struggling with and how we can provide the best value. You'll also have more direct access to us, as well as the incredible network that we're building for you. So, Maureen, do you want to share sort of the specials that we have on right now? We're going to offer and have an introductory offer for you.
Yes. So we know that you have what it takes. We know that you want to get it done. You get things done and you don't give up. So you're already aligned, you achieve things and you're accomplished, but you want to hit that next level of influence where you're really hitting that, where you really want to be. And you don't want it to be a want anymore. You're actually committed to it. So this is that community for you, where you will start to notice that you'll start increasing your income because you're surrounded yourself with people who have that abundance mindset. So imagine you yourself having that abundance mindset and being able to earn the respect and influence that you already have, and just tapping into it. And you'll see your income start to increase. You'll also get deepening your relationships. So for those of you who have relationships that really matter to you, how to really deepen them, how to have your really impact your spouse, maybe, like how to support them and how to get supported by them. If you're in a place where the relationship is just not feeling where it needs to be for you, and there's some anxiety around that, there's some some self-talk about it, that maybe he doesn't love me, or maybe we're not connected, or I don't even know what it is that he wants from me, then this is the club for you. We will talk about how to build that connection. If it's like building connection to bring in leads and clients, even for your scaling your business, then we'll talk about communications and how to influence others. Okay. It's leveling up your productivity. When you build confidence and influence in yourself, your productivity will increase naturally. And we will give you more tools on how to do that, right? Really killing off that procrastination. If you're a procrastinator, we've got tools for you that you can start. And it's really a mindset. Procrastination is a mindset. It's your alter ego telling yourself that you can get it done, you can get it done. Then you start to have anxiety about it. Then you feel overwhelmed. And it's this vicious cycle that you run yourself through. So we're going to help you how to end that vicious cycle. You'll start to gain that respect and influence. You'll be surrounded by a supportive community. We'll even have guest speakers come in and talk about how to improve your overall well-being. Because once you're aligned to your commitment, you will want to be showing up at your best. So your overall well-being, not only in your mind, but your health, your body, we will even address those topics. So Alexis and I are hosting and we're facilitating that entire group. And we bring in other experts. So as I mentioned, some of the topics that we will talk about as we discussed today is how to kill off that self-doubting, alter ego that has you stopped, that imposter syndrome that starts to show up, or any of those limiting beliefs that has you stopped. And then we'll talk about, the invaluable benefits of the integrity, as we talked about, how being integrous will increase your respect and influence in your workplace or in your business, and also for you, it'll increase your productivity. And then leading authentically, right? How many of you are tired of this shallow talk? Or how many of you are feeling like you're always doing what other people's agendas are coming onto your plate? You don't even know who you are anymore outside of work or your business. Then leading authentically is another topic that we'll talk about. We will even show you how to achieve your year in 90 days. So that's a really hot topic. Like, how do I achieve my goals in 90 days? We'll talk about those. Banishing anxiety and overwhelm, building those winning structures so that you're achieving all of your goals that you have for yourself, and then valuing that self-validation that we also talked about today. So we will give you a whole, training on that, what things you can put in place, an exercise you can start doing so that you're validating yourself and feeling good. It will increase your self-confidence. And so Alexis mentioned there are different levels of the membership. I wanted to talk about the yearly membership. Right now, for limited time, we have an introductory rate of $497 for the full year. And for the first 20 members who sign up, they get a 50% off. You get 50% off, which is about $20 a month. It's not that much, maybe 21, right? $21 a month. Not that much, and you get into the community for the whole year and you get to be with us. If you're interested in the quarterly, that one is $187 for 3 months, and you get 50% off on that one right now for the first 20 members. Okay, so if you get into that, that's about $30 a month. I think it comes out to, right? Yeah, about 30. So 36, yeah, about $30, $31 a month that you're paying for that one, and it's 50% off for the first 20 members. So you don't want to, wait. You want to join now. Now, if you just want to do the monthly, there's no contract. It is reoccurring, but you'll have to, if you wanted to cancel at any time, you're able to do that. It is $67 a month. And again, that's an introductory price right now. It will go up to $87. So catch it now at $67 if you want to do it monthly. Whatever fits your budget right now, we've made it happen. And we've created for this group exclusively to start coming in first, because you know us, you like us, you trust us, and you want to be more around us. So we've created this exclusive group for you women leaders who are wanting to really excel. So inside that, we will have other things that we'll also do. We're always growing. We're always listening to the community. As you guys know, we're in the back end, always trying to figure things out. So I'm going to drop the link to how do you sign up. You can also go to our webpage, goalsetcoach.com. That's goal, GOAL, setcoach.com. And if you scroll down, you can find the Limitless Club tile. If you click on it, it'll take you to the page as well. But I'll drop the link in the comments as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we wanted to remove all barriers from, if you're sitting there thinking like, we love the free content that we get, we love, the message, the trainings, the tips, the tools, the strategies, and I want more of it. We didn't want there to be any barrier into more access, more resources, and more support. And so definitely check it out, guys. This will be exclusive trainings that you're not going to find anywhere else. That are only going to be for this particular group on very pointed and very focused topics. And again, the information it's a mix between personal and professional, but we do skew towards that leadership role. And so that's why we've really created this for women that are in a leadership role in either the corporate arena, if you are a business owner and you're wanting to scale your business, if you are, even though as a leader of your own family. So yeah, we want you to be able to, come in, you get a the trainings are 75 minutes the first Wednesday of every month. If you can't catch us live, of course, there's going to be the replays for you that you can catch up on that. But it's full of value, and we do our homework. We're a bit of, personal development nerds, and we're always looking to see what is like the new studies saying. We both are actually psychology majors. I have a subscription of Psychology Today since I was 20. I think I was the only 20-year-old with a magazine subscription, but
Yeah.
we're always looking ahead to see like what is the science saying. I'm a big science geek, like I said, so we're always looking ahead. It's not just recycled information. We're getting it from the cutting edge institutes and whether it's universities, whether it's the High Performance Institute, it's all information that we are curating that we believe to be cutting edge, to be something different and at a much higher level than what you're going to find by just a Google search.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And not only that, you also in the community, in the club, you will get to interact with us more. You will get to interact with our team. They will be you'll have your personal concierge at any time for anything that you're dealing with. So you've got the community in there. So we'll be very active in that group. We'll be in there quite a bit, checking in on you all, seeing what's going on. What is it that you need? What is it that you're up to? Really leveraging, because you want to have something exclusive with like-minded people. You can join all kinds of groups, but if it's not, there's no high touch that you can communicate with them, then you're missing out. That's why this group is important to join, so that you have the community that is really helping you through any of those struggles that you start to have when you get committed to what it is that you want and you hit that fear zone or that learning zone, how to navigate through that. That's what we're going to be holding your hand through in this group, making sure that you have the knowledge, the space, the community to keep you going, right? So accountability. Like, how important is accountability? We stay accountable. We keep accountability on our children, right? If you're a leader, you keep accountability on your team. Whose leaders need accountability too? Who's going to keep you accountable? There's things that you want to do, accomplish for yourself. Stop the want and actually commit to it and join our group, and we will hold your hand. We will get you there faster, because that's what we're set out to do. We win when you win. I always tell this to my people. When you win, I win. So that's what we create. If that's something that you stand for, and that's community you want to surround yourself to be with, join us, the Limitless Club. I put the link already in the comment section, and I also put it on the banner, so you should be able to see it. The doors are open, guys. Come join us. We're going to be active in there. Now's the time to join as you're coming in. Let us know why you're here. What do you expect for yourself? What are your big goals for 2021? How can we support you? We want to hear what it is that you're up to. So join us today. We'd love to have you there. And it's limited, right? So we said the first 20 members get that 50% off. The code is in there. It turns off after 20 members join. So you want to make sure you're taking advantage of it now and doing that. And if you know of anyone who is also in that like-minded space or who wants to accomplish, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a friend or a sister or a cousin or whoever it is, a teammate, then you may want to invite them in here as well, right? You may want to invite them in here as well, and invite them, because you want to be around people that around yourself that are going up to big things and are getting the same type of support, because it starts to build that camaraderie, right? It builds that community that you need. You're all of a sudden you're sitting somewhere and you're feeling anxious. You post it in the group. We're here to support you. What's going on? What's happening? That's what you're getting out of this group. Okay.
Yeah, and I just want to say too is that if you're thinking about it, if you're like, oh, that sounds amazing, maybe I'll just sleep on it for a few days. Keep in mind, we want to share this with the goal set group for you guys right now, because you guys have been with us. We've built relationships with a lot of you. We wanted to offer this for you guys, but we will be posting it on our socials, tomorrow and later on in the week. And those 20 spots will go. So we wanted to do this promotion, and we wanted it to present to you guys first to give you the opportunity. So if you're thinking, yes, that sounds amazing, then stop thinking, just act. There is no reason, there's nothing should be holding you back. Those spots will go, and we want you to be able to take advantage of that discounted rate, because we want you in there. We want to be able to continue to support you, to keep you accountable, and to watch you as you guys not only achieve your goals, but crush them and make even bigger ones.
Yeah. And just so you know who we really are for you is who I am is I empower people. I've made a complete career out of it. I go in and I find things that are wrong and I fix them. I get contracts all the time to help other people's other department, other team members, other teams that are having gaps. That's who you're surrounding yourself with when you're coming on with joining us. I'm one of those, if you've seen my bio, I started at my career 15 years ago at $13 an hour. I was able to navigate my own career path that nobody even thought was even possible to now making, $250,000, right? So you're able to do that with being surrounded by people. How did I do it? I was always making sure I was around the right people. I was speaking to the right people. I was being smart about it. I was speaking their language. I had confidence. I had influence. That's what's important. And that's what we're going to help you with, how to build that within yourself. It's not too late for you. If you're already there, but you want to get to that next level, it's like we said, we heard yesterday, new level, new devil. I love that. That's what starts to happen. That limiting belief starts to happen. The alter ego starts to happen. That's where we come in and we remind you, like, where is it that you want to go? How do you want to get there? And you are fully capable of doing it. Right? So if you want that cheerleader behind you, making sure that you're accomplishing your goals, finding out what's stopping you, then we will be there for you. So join us. I'm really, really excited to have everyone here. All right, Alexis. So if you have any questions about it, you can always DM us. You can post comments. Let us know that you're watching the replay so that we know that you watch the replay, and message us if there's anything that you need from us or want to learn more about it. And we'll see you guys in the club, in the Limitless Club. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.